Welcome to the first episode of the Clipped Podcast. We are your hosts. I'm Jabroney.
And I am Acheeto. What's good, gang?
What is good? We are going to be talking about everything that is new in YouTube, Twitch, and the whole internet. The whole internet.
Yeah, nothing's off limits here. It's going to be pretty epic and based. We're going to look at everything ranging from... what are we looking at?
Everything. So, I think the most recent thing that just happened is Justin Roiland. You know him? He made Rick and Morty. He is in some deep crap right now. I think he just got accused of some really bad stuff.
Wubba lubba dub dub.
Dude, the Wubba lubba dub was dubbed. So I'm looking at this article. Rick and Morty co-creator Justin Roiland faces felony domestic violence charges. Nice light topic to start the podcast off.
Jesus, dude. Oh my God.
But this literally a few hours ago came out. So here let me link you this article, the first thing, so you can see what I'm looking at. But basically, Justin Roiland, the star and co-creator of the animated comedy series Rick and Morty, has been charged with felony domestic violence in Orange County in connection with the 2020 incident.
Yeah, the real felony is it not letting me see the article because I have ad block on. Give me a sec. This is actually, come on. So what is this? NBC News? You really need my half a penny?
They got to sell you ads.
Yeah, I don't even know how to turn it off. I just always have it on. Okay, pause on this site. You're welcome, NBC. Let's see what's going on here. Roiland was charged with domestic battery and false imprisonment in May 2020 after an incident with a woman he was dating, according to a criminal complaint. Wait, what's false imprisonment?
Dude, false imprisonment's big. That means that you basically held someone against their will. You chained somebody up in your basement or something. That's crazy.
Bruh. So he was spawn camping this girl or something.
I don't know. Let me read more into this. A protective order filed in 2020 and documented in the court minutes said Roiland is not to harass, threaten, or surveil the person. That's crazy. So she got a restraining order. Many court documents remain sealed, but the available public documents say Roiland was charged. He was arrested and released on $50,000. So the first thing I thought was are they going to have to... Is PewDiePie going to delete his meme review with Justin Roiland? That was literally the first thing I thought.
I didn't see that
because he did an episode with him. I'm not gonna lie, it was pretty cringe. Before we go any farther, what's your opinion of Rick and Morty? Do you think that's funny or no?
Okay, so I initially when it was getting big in 2017, 2018, I actually really liked it. I watched season 3 when it first dropped. Yeah. I loved it. The pilot of season 3, I think, is one of the best episodes in the entire show. But it's one of those things where it's you just really can't be going out there saying oh, yo, I love Rick and Morty, you know, because it's just kind of the association element where you're just kind of with these these Reddit tier people who think that they have a sort of intellectual superiority to whoever they're talking to or something. Do you remember that meme where it was you have to have a high IQ to understand Rick and Morty?
Yes,
dude. I'm still not over that. I think that permanently damaged the label of Rick and Morty viewer. You know?
Yeah, I think it went through a very recognizable cycle where it was actually good content, and then it went way too mainstream, and then it attracted this super cringe fan base. And then, I'm looking up the quote. To be fair, you have to have a very, so this is something a Redditor posted. Somebody posted this on Reddit and they were not memeing. They said, to be fair, you have to have a very.
That's the best part. It was totally real. This is
yes.
This is someone's thoughts.
Yeah. This is the actual discourse of Rick and Morty fans.
Yeah.
To be fair, you have to have a very high IQ to understand Rick and Morty. The humor is extremely subtle, and without a solid grasp of theoretical physics, most of the jokes will go over a typical viewer's head. There's also Rick's nihilistic outlook, which is deftly woven into his characterization. His personal philosophy draws heavily from... Bro, I'm not reading the rest of this. Basically...
It's so bad, dude.
Oh, man. So, and then my favorite thing was the Szechuan sauce. When they did...
Dude, do you remember that kid who
Yes.
like went to McDonald's and stood up on the desk?
Yes.
Or like the counter and was like, he put his shirt over his head and was like, Wee! Dude, that was so
like,
bad.
Give me my Szechuan sauce.
Dude, Rick and Morty created some demons, bro. Like the viewers of that show, like, oh man.
Yeah. So, anyway, yeah, I just thought like that just happened a few hours ago. So I don't know a ton about it, but that was the first thing that came to mind is like Justin Roiland. I don't know if he'll get like canceled or whatever, but maybe he'll come out with a statement and be like, yeah, it's not real. Who knows? It's too early to really tell.
Well, so I don't know much about law. So is being charged with domestic battery, like what does that mean? You're charged with it. Like does that mean like what's good? Like
I think that article said that he was convicted. So if that is the case, then he, like a judge decided he was guilty. So he pled not guilty in 2020. Let's see. Oh, he's been charged.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it doesn't mean like definitively, right?
No, it doesn't actually mean he did anything, but he appeared in court Thursday. So this has been going on for 2 years or almost 3 years. So it says he was charged this week, but the actual original incident happened in 2020. So he pled not guilty in 2020. So what happened this week? Let me see. He appeared in court Thursday for a hearing. Maybe they like delayed the hearing because of like COVID or whatever. That's the only reason.
Possible.
That's the only thing I could think is
they delayed it because season 6 didn't drop yet.
Yeah, they were like, yeah, go finish Rick and Morty and we'll put you in prison.
Yeah. Yeah, they couldn't let him not finish it.
The judge was a big fan.
Yeah, it's like the equivalent of like a rapper doing an album in jail. But like they're like, bro, we can't do this. Like it's not going to be the same if you're behind bars doing the sketches.
The Rick and Morty prison season.
Yeah, dude, like this season was made in the mud. Like bro was down bad making this season.
Oh my god. Details of the case, including police body cam footage, police reports, investigation reports, medical reports, and recordings are currently being withheld. So it's sealed, so nobody really knows because the court documents are sealed for the most part. Let's see. But yeah, he was just in court this week, Thursday, very recently. So
interesting.
Yeah, I guess that's how people found out.
I didn't know he made High on Life, that video game.
Yeah, that I think he was like pretty involved with that. Yeah,
I haven't played it. Have you played it? Is it good?
No, I haven't played it either. I don't know.
Interesting. I just love how on an article about domestic abuse, I have an advertisement on the right hand side of Summer Rae in PSD boxers.
Bro. Wait, I gotta reload the ad. Hold on.
I can send you. There's literally SpongeBob.
Hold on. You broke. You broke up for a second.
It's SpongeBob boxers on the right hand side of the screen, and the first word on the left hand side says detained. Like, okay, here, let me send this to you.
Yeah, send me a screenshot. That's funny.
It's like SpongeBob crying on someone's boxers. Look, this is on my page. It's $28 too. This might be a good deal,
dude. The SpongeBob boxers.
All right, can we even do that? Can we give free publicity on here?
I don't know. I don't know if we're even gonna. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if there's gonna be video with this or not. We'll see. We'll have to find out. We'll see what we end up doing.
Okay, word. Yeah, this is the first episode, so we're kind of just figuring things out, y'all.
Yep, we're feeling
just seeing what's good.
We're filling it out. So yeah, I got more topics. Unless, is there anything you want to talk about next, or you want me to just go to my next one?
Well, I wanted to see what was going on with Andrew Tate because there's been a lot going on with him. I know he had gotten arrested. And there's so much like fake information about this whole thing. Like I believe the pizza, they were saying that, okay, so for those of you who don't know, Andrew Tate got into some beef with Greta Thunberg, who is like a 19-year-old Swedish climate activist. They got into like a beef on Twitter somehow, which is like, I don't know, that just seems kind of weird to me. That's like a me character playing Donkey Kong and like Smash, you know, just it's like a weird matchup, you know. It's like something you'd see on Death Battle, like Greta Thunberg versus Andrew Tate. But okay, so anyways, Andrew Tate just decides like out of nowhere, I guess he just got bored. He decided to tweet at Greta Thunberg like, "Oh, here's a list of all my supercars and like they are bad for the environment. Hey Greta, like I know you care about the environment. Like, can you tell me like how bad my cars are?" Like sarcastically, right? And Greta Thunberg like says, "Oh, I don't know. You're gonna have to send me these links to," or what did she say? Like send your cars, the links to your cars to like this email. I don't even know what the setup exactly was, but the punchline is that she very cleverly insinuated that Andrew Tate may have a small phallic sort of thing going on. Like, you know, she was like, "Oh, you have small dick energy," which like, okay, you know, whatever. I guess like, you know, play with fire, get burned type thing. I didn't think it was like the sickest roast of all time, but Andrew, I mean, you know, like kind of pick on someone your own size. But whatever. So anyways, after this goes on, like Andrew responds to Greta again with another, like with like a video. And in the video, Andrew is like, "Oh, I really don't care about the environment. Let's get me a pizza, but have the pizza box be made out of non-recycled cardboard." Which like, okay, like, okay, bro. And he gets the pizza, and then like 24 hours later, he gets arrested, right? He gets arrested by the Romanian police. And this like weird conspiracy like started that apparently because of the pizza chain that Andrew got his pizza from being a local Romanian local Romanian pizza place that somehow told the Romanian police that he was in the country because he'd gotten this pizza from like a local Romanian place. And people were like, "Oh my God, like that's so epic. Like it was just sort of weird. It was like, "Oh dude, like he got owned because he was doing a bad thing." And it was like, okay, first of all, I never bought this from the get-go because it's like, dude, this guy's like one of the most high-profile people in the world. You don't think they keep like some kind of tabs on him? You think like they really needed a pizza delivery to know where this guy's at? Like, I just didn't buy it. But anyways, he gets arrested. People are doing this theory, and I have no idea what's going on with him since. Apparently, he requested to like leave, and they said no. But if you know anything else about this, please let me know.
Yeah, so I'm gonna link you. So there's a Romanian website that I like for news. It's like the funniest fucking sentence I've ever said, but so I like to go to the source because like a lot of the English language news articles are not like primary sources. So I go to this Romanian news site, and I don't know if they're like biased or anything, but I like this site because they typically link to like their original sources. But yeah, he got picked up. It was Andrew, his brother Tristan, and then there was also a woman who was like a former policewoman got picked up with them, got arrested at the same time. And like allegedly they were all in the same like criminal organization. And so this is like the latest article, and it says that like basically they were accused of human trafficking and like basically running a human trafficking like criminal organization. And so he got picked up by this version of like the Romanian like police that only prosecutes like organized crime. And so they didn't have they haven't been convicted of anything yet. And they can temporarily hold them for up to a month. So they like appealed and said, "Let us out of jail." And the judge like yesterday or the day before said, "No, you guys are sitting in the jail for like at least 30 days. And then this new article is saying that I guess Tristan Tate's girlfriend they're looking for her and she just had a kid. So that's kind of weird. That's like news to me. It looks like it says on Thursday in the early hours of the morning, the prosecutors and the police went to several addresses in the counties of Ivlov and Pravo. Sorry, if you're Romanian, I'm pronouncing these like awful. And in the city of Bucharest, where they conducted searches in the case of the brothers Andrew and Tristan Tate. In total, 7 locations were targeted by prosecutors. Evidence has been raised in the case of video chat activity with studio owners allegedly linked to brothers Andrew and Tristan Tate. One of the raids targeted Vlad Obu, a former martial arts fighter who has a video chat studio in Voluntary. Sources close to the investigation stated for Gondul. Gondul is the news organization that I'm reading this from. The documents are being checked and equipment was erected to carry out the IT search. It is possible for the investigators to extend the criminal investigation in the file targeting with the 2 millionaires of British origin. So it sounds like they're going after more and more and more people. And one of the articles I read from this website last week said that they had his house tapped for like months. So you're right. Like the pizza thing was probably bullshit. And they probably just knew where he was based on the phone taps. Like if your phone is tapped, like you're already fucked. Like if they're recording your phone calls. And then there was an article that came out a few days ago that said there was
I just want to say like there's no way that like in a developed country like Romania, they need some like caveman level like pizza box detection to like know where this guy is. Like, I'm sorry, but that theory is so like dumb. It's like bro, like I'm sorry, but like how primal do you think these people are that they need like a video hints from this guy? Like, no, dude, like we have Wi-Fi. Like, you know what those.
Well, I don't know how high tech the Romanian government is. I have no clue. I've never been to Romania, but yeah, like it would not make a lot of sense if that's what they needed, the pizza.
If he's close to this, he might be near. It's like, bro, like, do you know how like retarded they would look if they show up to this guy's house and he's not there and their reasoning was like, oh yeah, well we saw a pizza box. It's like, dude, that actually would be like the dumbest. That'd be so embarrassing for them. Like, there's no way. Like, of course that rumor got spread on Twitter because like that kind of like matches the IQ of the theory. But like, bro, like. I just don't even know how people like we even believe it. It's like, oh, it's so epic. Like it's kind of like a Marvel like plot twist level theory where it's like you want it to be true just because it would make it seem like so cool. Where it's like, oh, the bad guy makes like a dumb decision and gets caught. Where it's like, okay, even if you don't like Andrew Tate, like you have to like understand that if he's as bad as you think he is, like they're gonna get him for like a lot more things, right? If he's really running this like intricate human trafficking ring with like webcam models and stuff, they're gonna get like a cyber like security team or whatever, like their tech department of some kind to like investigate him pretty thoroughly. Like, you know, there's not just like 4 guys huddled around like, you know, like a Gen 1 Dell monitor, like looking at Andrew Tate's Twitter feed, seeing like where he's tweeting. You know what I'm saying? It's just, I don't know. I just thought that theory was so dumb to begin with. It's like, it really, I don't know.
Dude, so I was just thinking, you know, like if he gets convicted, who knows how long they could put him in prison. And so I started thinking, I'm like, well, I wonder what like a Romanian prison looks like. I just sent you a link. And if you Google Romanian prison, the first
oh my God,
the first result says Europe Rights Court blasts Romania prison conditions. Dude, this looks like a dungeon from like Age of Empires. Like
yeah, dude, this shit actually looks. Oh my God,
he's gonna be begging to go to jail in the UK or like America. Dude. He's gonna be like, please.
Yeah, I mean, I can't even blame bro. Like, look at this.
This is
disgusting.
So for people listening, there's like a wooden doors. It literally looks like if you were in a medieval battle and you got captured, this is where they would take you.
Yeah, for people listening, how about this? Literally take 5 seconds, look up Romanian jail and go to images. This is, oh my goodness.
There's like guys like reaching their hands out of the bars. Like it looks like in Dark Souls, like when you're in the jail in the beginning of Dark Souls. And
yeah, I know exactly what you're. And there's like the skeleton like withered away, and he's got like armor on him. Yeah, it's literally like that, dude.
Dude, this
fucked. Is atrocious. Yeah, but there's no way he's gonna be in there, dude.
I don't know. So I was kind of surprised that they actually arrested him because like in the past he's bragged about being involved with organized crime. And so like if you're actually, I don't know if he is or not, but if you're actually involved in organized crime, like you're bribing the cops, like you're paying off the police, you know, like you're staying out of jail, right? Like however you can. So I was very surprised that they picked him up because that means like either 1, he was never actually part of organized crime there, or 2, he was and like the bribes weren't enough. Like he did something so bad that they finally were like, yeah, we got to arrest this guy. So that's kind of a big deal. I don't know. Do you think he's actually like does everything he says he does, or like you think some of the stuff he says is just to make himself sound cool?
It's a tough one, man. Because like, I genuinely like the problem with this is that everybody, I don't want to say everybody, but like the vocal majority or minority, I don't even know like what percentage of people feel this way, but like the vocal group of people when Andrew Tate got arrested, were all celebrating. At least this is what I saw. Like they were saying like, oh, you know, like, dude, just like get rolled. Like this is what you get, El human trafficker. It's like, okay, listen, like if this is true, right? What's the harm in just like, you know, letting due process, you know, do its thing? Like, I feel like innocent until proven guilty, but everyone just kind of like low key just kind of like forgot about that with like this guy. And it's like, okay, fair enough. Like he is the internet supervillain and like you just kind of want to believe it because you don't like him. Like I understand that. And it could be that all this is true, but I don't necessarily like the fact that like he's in handcuffs and like the conclusion drawn by Twitter is that, oh yeah, therefore everything we presumed about this guy from the start, from when there was literally nothing going on with this guy. Yeah, everything bad we thought about him, yeah, we're feeling vindicated. It's totally true. And it's just like, okay, man, like, I just don't buy that. Like, I think that I don't buy the fact that you can just like determine, like you can just feel so vindicated because of like just one arrest was made. It's like, okay, yeah, sure. You know, it could be a sign of like what's to come and, you know, that may be true. But I don't know, dude. People just getting into hysterics because it happened is just kind of weird. Like, people get arrested. I know people who have been arrested. It doesn't mean anything necessarily.
Yeah, but have you known anybody that got arrested by the fucking secret police in Romania? So think about it from the other direction.
Yeah,
think about it from the other direction. If it was somebody you really hated and you like were really annoyed by, and there was pictures of them like in cuffs, would you not be dunking on them on Twitter?
Like, okay.
Like take Andrew Tate out of the equation.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. That's a good point. And like, I wouldn't, I would say that it's like, I'd find it funny, I guess. And I would probably like laugh, but I think it'd just be just wildly irresponsible to like, let that be the basis of like your conclusions. Like, you know,
that's fair. I mean, that's fair.
I wouldn't say like, okay, this is proof. That's the entire point.
Yeah, no, I agree. I don't think getting arrested and being convicted are two completely different things. I definitely agree. But like for me personally, even if he hasn't done any of the stuff he's accused of, I still think he's like a massive douchebag, and I think it's fucking hilarious that. But that's just me. Like,
no, that's true.
It's totally valid.
I think he is kind of a dick. Like he's a provocateur.
Yeah, and I mean, I think I don't know. I have a lot of thoughts about like his philosophy and stuff. Like, I think there's some truth in what he says, but then I also think that he like twists it so that he can make money off of his whole thing. But anyway, I don't know. I don't really want to get that deep into all that, but yeah,
that's true.
Google Romanian
I've always found. Yeah, Google Romanian prison. I want to just give my final thought on Andrew, just in general, as a person, right? I think that, like, yeah, I can see why people hate him. But I think the reason he was so successful, and this goes with anybody, really, I feel like on the internet, when they have like a meteoric rise in success, it's because like they filled a hole of some sort, right? Like look at like Jadion and IShowSpeed just being like completely like spastic idiots on camera. Well, not Jadion as much, but like IShowSpeed just being like a freaking psycho on camera, just like losing his mind, right? Yep. That's because we've been inside and just like kind of like calm and docile for like the past 2 years, and we just needed to see someone go like nuts and go crazy for our own entertainment, right? Like I feel like the reason people see like crazy rises is because there was like a want or need for that like form of entertainment. And I feel like with Andrew, it's like, well, you may not agree with what he says, but I think it's important to examine like why he was able to take over TikTok in the way that he did, and why, you know, he became the most searched man in America. And I think there's like there is valuable things to take away from that, even if you disagree with him.
Yeah, no, yeah, that's totally valid. I think like the success of that kind of content is a good. It's kind of like taking the temperature, right? So like you. Yeah, like, oh exactly. Wow, this is what's super popular right now. There depending on how you look at it, like he would say like there's something really wrong, like there's something really off right now. And so it's an interesting kind of like takeaway for sure. Yeah.
And even if because you can disagree with a lot of what he says, but like some of the most basic things that he says, I think just because it comes from him, like I mean, listen, and I know a lot of young men who are like younger than me or my age who like genuinely appreciated what he's had to say. Like And you can call it cringy and corny, but at the end of the day, the result is just good. So I'm not going to get mad at the means in which the result was achieved. Like, for example, my friend, he has been he wanted to go. He's been trying to like make an effort to like go to the gym and stuff, but he just like wasn't like it was all talk for him. He wasn't really making the effort. He wasn't going daily. He was just kind of like slacking. And he just like, I don't know. I asked him, like, he started just going to the gym like randomly. I asked him like, hey bro, like what was your motivation? And he's like, man, like, you know, it sounds cringy to say, because like it is cringy to say, but like I just saw a lot of Tate clips and I don't know, man, it just like kind of inspired me. And the truth is it's like, you can cringe at that all you want. And it is kind of a weird thing to just like say out loud, like, oh, just some random internet guy was like my motivation to like fix my life. And like, okay, that is, I guess it sounds weird to say, but I don't think it necessarily matters if like the result is just good, right? Like if this is the result for the young men, you know, that they're like going to the gym and like, you know, taking care of their lives to some extent. To me, it's like, okay, well, I don't necessarily care like how or what got them into that position. And I think it's an even bigger problem if it had to be Tate that got them into that position. Like, what does that say if like some random dude online is like, is like the reason that people are going to the gym? Like, why isn't that going to be like why isn't mainstream culture like doing that well enough to the point where just some random bald dude is going to be like the catalyst for like a massive increase in like male drivenness. I don't even know how to say it, but like, I don't know. Yeah, well, it's like, yeah.
And I think
like, productivity.
Yeah, and like not only productivity, but also just like looking for meaning. I think is a lot of it too. Is like people.
Yeah, no, definitely true.
But yeah, I mean, if it comes out that all this stuff is true, then it's
pretty bad. Obviously,
it's pretty
like,
bad.
I don't support him, but like,
I think
it's just like it's hard for me to like hate him because of like the outcome in which like the dominance he's like had affects people. You know, it's like, well, it is true. Like, yeah, like I don't want to go on this for too much longer, but like, yeah, it is true. Like he is kind of like, you know, inflammatory, and like, provocative with what he says. If the goal is to just like affect young men's minds positively in terms of like action, and that is the result, to me, it's like, well, yeah, you know, it is kind of like a mixed bag, but at the end of the day, it's like the result I think matters more than like the means. But
so here's
if he is a criminal, like fuck this guy, but like, yeah.
Here's my counterpoint. So the counterpoint would be like the devil's advocate argument is, what if his goal is not to affect young men? What if his goal is to make as much money as humanly possible, and that's all he cares about? And if that's the goal, he's seen like a big problem in society. He sees that like young men are lonely. They don't know how to talk to girls. They don't take care of themselves. So I'm going to teach you some good things about some of that stuff, but then I'm also going to like teach you that women are property. I hate women. So I give you enough information to like better yourself and make you go to the gym, but you're never going to like get into a committed relationship with somebody that cares about you if you listen to me, if I'm Andrew Tate, because you kind of hate women. You think of them as like lesser. So I give you, like, I see the problem, like imagine you're like a doctor and you see somebody sick and they're like kind of fucked up. You give them some of the cure, but you put like a little bit of poison in there so that they have to keep coming back to you. That's kind of how I see Andrew Tate. He sees what's fucked up in society and he goes, instead of saying I can fix this, he says I can make money off this. I think he's super like fucked up. Like that's kind of how I see it, but that's I think your viewpoint's valid too.
Yeah, no, I'm glad you checked me on these things, and I this is going to be a good dynamic for the podcast if we can have like healthy conversations and stuff.
Yeah, totally.
But the I think that like it is, yeah. I mean, obviously he's not just going into it out of the goodness in his heart. Obviously there is a money side to it, like 100%. But I don't think that like, okay, like the women are it's a tough thing for me because it's like. It is true. Like, I think maybe for like the 17, 18 year olds, they're able to sort of mentally, like differentiate, like, okay, this is like actually very valid and applicable to like, this is sort of, this is just kind of a little bit on the more, I just disagree with this. And this is not the life that I want to live in terms of like the women are property stuff. So I guess like when you're talking about like young men, like 13, 14 year olds, that is tougher because I don't necessarily know if they have the good judgment to kind of like tear apart Andrew Tate's philosophy into like, you know, separating it from the good from the bad to like the somewhat good to the objectionable. And that to me, I would agree is kind of a problem. And that's like, but that also to me is just kind of like, I don't want my kids on TikTok at all. So I would think that would also just kind of go down to like, like just because, TikTok or social media should not be raising children really, like shouldn't raise anybody, right? Above 15, once you're consuming social media, you kind of have like a decent enough head on your shoulders to sort of have like a critical thinking aspect to it. So when you say like, okay, it's like, well, yeah, people like young kids could get possessed by Andrew Tate's philosophy or like the bad parts of it, of like the women are property part. I think that's true, but like, again, like I think that's not like, is Andrew Tate, is he trying to speak to like 13, 14-year-old boys and tell them how to fix their lives? I don't think he is. I think he really is like his target demographic. Like if you were to ask him, he would hopefully say something within the range of like 16, 17 to like 25 or 26-year-olds. So if we're talking about like very young kids being like, oh, like top G, like shut up woman, or like whatever, like, yeah, that's like really bad. But that's also because like, dude, like just don't let these kids like, be hearing random strangers on the internet for like how to live their life in general, like that's just my take. But like, yeah, it is bad if it is happening.
Yeah, for sure. I think we will see. I think we'll know pretty soon what they end up coming up with because they only have a month to hold them in jail. So we'll see what they come up with.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I was gonna think, and it's up to you if you want to go into this, but I was gonna talk about the new YouTube changes.
Yeah, totally. Yeah,
were kind of bugging me. Yeah. So, in case you guys don't know, YouTube basically has come out with these new advertiser-friendly guidelines. Now, I'll just quickly break it down for those who aren't into the specific YouTube stuff. So. When you want to upload a video to YouTube and you want to monetize it, you have to meet a certain requirement to monetize. But like most of your favorite YouTubers are already well within that requirement, right? And essentially, every video you upload, you have to fill out a survey now where you basically describe what's within the video, and if you accurately this is how it's supposed to work in theory. If you accurately describe what's in the video, like they give you a set of like questions and you have to like tick the box. Like, does this video have like blood? You tick that if it has blood. Do you curse in this video? It's kind of like that, right? And depending on what you click as like, oh, this video contains this, it will, depending on how accurate you've done the survey in the past, it will determine whether your video is suitable for all advertisers, which everybody wants all advertisers. All advertisers is you basically will not make any money if your video is not suitable for all advertisers. And if your video is not suitable for all advertisers, it is given what's called limited ads, which is represented by the worst thing ever, this yellow $sign that kind of like haunts my dreams. It's just like an ugly thing to look at. It's like it's just gross. It's like a stop sign when you're being told to slow down, whereas like the suitable for all advertisements is green, and it's just like it's the small things, okay? But basically, when something is limited for all ads, when something is limited ads, you're literally getting like a tenth, probably less sometimes.
You get nothing. You get
a 12th.
It's negligible.
Yeah, it's like a 12th or like a 15th or like a 20th of what you will make with all ads. So it literally is like, if you have a video and it's like a great video and you want to upload it and you know it's going to get views and it gets limited ads, if you get limited ads, like you literally are going to want to just go back into your editing software and just like figure out what you did wrong, because it is just not worth it to upload it with limited. Like you will get robbed. It's basically just like making no money. Like it's disgusting how little you'll make.
It's interesting too, because YouTube has said in the past publicly, they've said that limited ads doesn't affect discoverability. So they claim that it doesn't affect like, like we won't suppress
That's
you
also a lie.
In the algorithm. Yep. It's a complete lie. So I've seen a bunch of YouTubers like run experiments where they have a green video and a yellow video, limited ads and a full ads. And the one with full ads gets way more impressions. Like basically if it's limited ads, they're probably going to suppress it in search and discovery. So like, not only can you not make any money off it, like nobody's going to see it. Like they're going to hide it usually. Now, some videos, I don't know what it is, but there's like a special type of video that can have yellow and still get a ton of views. It's rare, but it does happen.
And those are usually ones from like huge channels. I've noticed.
Yes,
like those are usually ones that are from like, you know, like the educational channels. And like, yeah, that's how it's supposed to work in theory, but it just never does. Like, if I uploaded a video and it was suitable for all advertisers for like the first 2 hours that it was up, and then randomly YouTube decides like, okay, actually it's not, like our automated monetization detector or whatever, we saw something in your video that we actually think is demonetized, and they hit you with the limited ads. Your video, if the graph is completely linear and it's going up at a constant rate, the views, it will flatline almost always without fail. Your views will drop and they will not be the same as they were like literally even 5 minutes ago. The impressions lower. I don't know what it is or why it happens. I mean, my logic would be like, oh, YouTube just doesn't see as much profitability with this video. Like, they can't make as much money from it, so they're just gonna like hide it. But yeah, they've always lied about that. It's not true. If your video is limited, when it becomes limited, you will get less impressions, you'll get less views. But I wanted to talk about the new guidelines, because these are the most annoying part about whenever YouTube makes whenever YouTube does an update of some sort, especially with monetization, is there's usually no heads up. Okay, there's like rarely any ever like, hey, like, we're going to be rolling this out soon, so if you want to like edit your previous videos to like be complacent with this, you can do it. There's usually no heads up ever. And it rarely goes like smooth, right? So this new update they have is regarding two things: profanity and violence. So YouTube's new rule with profanity is that if within the first 8 seconds you say the F word, you literally cannot make any money from the video. You can make some money, but like, it's like basically none. Okay. You get completely ripped off if you say the F word or like the S word in the first 8 seconds. Which I don't really like know why I mean, I have some theories as to why they're doing that, but I think it's kind of a silly decision.
Yeah, and
but basically, if
they say that like if you use profanity like throughout the video, we'll also demonetize it. Like even little bits where in the past, as long as you like didn't really cuss in the first like 30 seconds, you're probably fine. Like, and now I don't think that's the case anymore.
Yeah. So that was the other thing, is that previously, and I don't really swear in my videos, like sometimes I do. But you know, it's always like on my mind, like, will saying this like lower my the amount of money I can make on this video, or will lower the chance that I get monetized. But so I've always just tried to like just not swear like in general, just because like also like this might be like a weird take, but I feel like swearing can sometimes just be like it can make it so that you don't have to like think of what you have to say sometimes. And like as a commentary channel, I do kind of like actually want to like give out a criticism rather than just being like, oh, like F this guy or something, you know? And it's like, in my opinion, it's the equivalent of like having a face cam and then just making a surprised face when something happens. Like the video you're watching, it's just so low effort. Like you can't find something better to do or say. So that's my take on that. But now it used to be that throughout the video, if you like said the F word, like, I don't know, like 5 times or like 6 times or something, throughout like the span of like 8 to 10 minutes, like you'd be fine. Like you'd make money. You'd really have nothing to worry about. Now it just seems like they're randomly taking old videos where if you followed the rules at the time and said like your 5 to 6 F words in your 8 to 10 minutes, now it seems like they're going back and like editing the monetization status of those videos to like limited. So like your old videos that were making money, like in the back burner, they're now not, which is just like, just so weird and uncalled for. And the next one, I don't know if you had anything to say, but like,
yeah, no, I think it's super weird to apply changes retroactively like that. Like I get it. I get that they're trying to like appeal to advertisers or whatever, but there's YouTubers that have been on this site for like 10 years making videos who have like hundreds of videos. And if all of their videos get demonetized overnight, like that's crazy. Cause that's like people's livelihoods. Like, and they didn't get a chance. They should at least give them an email like a month ahead of time and say, hey, look, if you have old videos and you say the F word, like, you know, this many times, go back, edit it out, you know, in YouTube Studio, fix it. And then in a month you'll be safe. But no, it's like The other frustrating thing with YouTube and demonetization and censorship is like how opaque they are. Like you never get an answer. Like we never get a timestamp of like, oh, 8:34. That's why your video is yet. No, it's just like you're just guessing. It's always guessing. They never tell you what you did wrong. So that's my main like frustration with it.
Yeah, the craziest part too is I know people who have like personal connects at YouTube that are supposed to help them, like if they get like a false strike or if they're having trouble getting this video monetized or something like that, right? People who are pretty big as creators, people who are like, you know, notable on the website, like, you know, million subscribers around that range, right? And even they, like the people, you know, the big boys, the people who have like connections at YouTube, they don't even get a heads up. Like they don't even get told like, hey, bro, like, you know, the company that I literally work at is like going to do something that may or may not affect like your entire ability to make money. You should maybe know about this. Like they don't even have that level of communication, which I don't think it would be like super cool to only talk to like the big boys about changes, but it would be something, you know, like you'd think like, you know, like maybe these people who are like getting like literally millions of views by the hour would at least kind of know like what's going on with the website. So it's just kind of weird. And the other thing which is going on besides the profanity in terms of monetization is this new, very, very unclear rule about violence and stuff. Now, I don't know how many of you viewers are coming in from watching my channel, but you may have noticed that in the past few weeks, the past like really 2 or 3 weeks, I've completely shifted to Minecraft gameplay. And this isn't because I've just gotten this, you know, epic nostalgia for Minecraft. It's not because I'm trying to get like a younger audience or anything like that. It's literally because YouTube is like so unclear about their violence guidelines. Like if I play a rated M video game, literally that may just mean I get demonetized. So they're basically making it so that violence or graphic imagery, which is like anything that shows like some like cartoon violence to some extent, or like fake blood, even like in video games, like you could get demonetized. I don't even necessarily know the rules, but I know that it's like, okay, like I'm just not gonna play any chances. Like if it means that I can't play like Counter-Strike, like okay, I'll play Minecraft. But like it's so unclear. Like is playing like Roblox Arsenal, is that gonna be a chance like that I'm gonna get demonetized for that? Like because it has guns. Like it really doesn't. It's not consistent. Doesn't really make much sense.
Yeah, like apparently they've been demonetizing videos. Like I saw they demonetized like a bunch of videos where people were playing like Callisto Protocol, which is like a video game. And in the past on YouTube, like video games were pretty much like fair game. Like you could post gameplay from video games and they pretty much almost every time would say, yeah, that's fine. Like that's monetizable. Like it's a video game. It's not real. But now it kind of seems like they're like blurring that line, right? Like there's like, oh, that's like a really edgy game, or like, hey, that's like really gratuitous, whatever. And so it just seems like they're wading deeper and deeper like into the mud of like, I don't know. I think social media like really shot themselves in the foot back in the day when they decided like, you know, they're going to be responsible for every bit of content on the site. This goes like way back, but like, I wish like 20 years ago, they just said to advertisers like, nope, we're not going to be responsible for that. We can't monitor all that. We don't care. Like you guys figure it out. But now it's like a never ending spiral, right? Like they're never going to loosen up because it's only going to get tighter and tighter and tighter because they're just trying to appease advertisers. I actually read one article this past week. I'm going to try and find it, but it was super interesting. One person was saying that, they actually think that advertisers do this stuff to YouTube because they want to cripple new media, and like they actually don't want YouTube to succeed. So they put all these like insane standards on YouTube because like you can watch The Walking Dead on TV. I don't know if you ever watched The Walking Dead, but like people say fuck.
I have, yeah.
Like there's like sex, there's like gratuitous violence.
I only got so far though.
Yeah, me too. I got bored. But it's
yes.
It's just an example. But like they have all this like gratuitous violence and like blood and cuss words. And then they put like a Burger King ad, and it's like, okay, so if it's okay on TV, why isn't it okay on YouTube? And so I've actually been hearing more and more people say like, oh, it's because they just hate YouTube. Like they want YouTube to fail. And when I say they, I mean like the advertisers. And I used to think, no, that's like a dumb conspiracy theory. But now I'm like, maybe that's actually true. Like maybe, I don't know. You know, like, what do you think about that?
I think it actually, I mean, there might be some merit to it. I mean, if you look at like the multiple adpocalypses that have happened on YouTube, it's literally it's just been because of like these media like these media companies like the Wall Street Journal or like Vox or something. Like they write like a hit piece on YouTube and they're basically like begging advertisers like, hey, like please do something, like stop putting money into this ecosystem. It's like it's not good, and they say mean things. And I have to think it's like there's no way that it's just because like, you know, like PewDiePie said the N-word. Like there's no way that's going to be like the thing that like cripples an entire creator like lucrative economy for like what, like eight months or something. Like there's no way, just like, you know, it's like, okay, I get like he's the biggest creator and he's like the quote unquote face of the platform, but like I don't buy it, you know? I think that there definitely is some more, there's a lot more to it, because if you think about it, right, like these people, you know, these journalists that are writing these hit pieces on YouTube and who have created these adpocalypses in the past, like they probably hate YouTube, right? Like they compete with YouTube for online ad space, right? And they're also being replaced, I feel like to some extent, like these journalists, by like YouTubers, just like by random people who report news and do this stuff, where it's like you needed like a degree in journalism to like get like a nice job at like Vox or like Wall Street Journal, where it's like now like you can have some idiot like fire up a YouTube channel and just report the news and like, you know, air stories. And it's like, I mean, maybe that's a bit of a reach, but at the same time, like I feel like it may not be. Like YouTube does compete with they compete for traffic against these other websites, so I don't think it's too outrageous. Like, you know, it's implicit in them basically saying like YouTube is not going to be a safe haven for advertisements and their content's too edgy, it's too this, it's too that. They're implicitly saying like, oh, we are where you should be putting your money, you know? So that's sort of my opinion on that. And if you look at like the two major adpocalypses that I believe, the first one was the PewDiePie thing, which is the fact, you know, it wasn't the N-word, actually. I made that mistake. It was the death to all Jews thing.
When he made that he had
the Fiverr thing.
He had those two guys, and then they were like, subscribe to Keemstar.
Yeah, exactly. So that was the first thing that happened. Like the face of YouTube's a Nazi. Right. Which, like, you know, that wasn't great, but at the same time, like contextually, the period in which that was happening on YouTube was also like psycho. Like it was pretty crazy. It was a crazy time to be on YouTube. Like people were doing like crazy stuff. It's pretty obvious that he, like, even when he starts that video, the whole thing is he's like, I want to see how far I can make people go on Fiverr. Like there was no, you know, he wasn't trying to like send a message or anything. Like he was just memeing. Yeah, of course not.
They blew it way out of proportion.
Yeah, of course. Like, yeah, the entire the punchline was like, oh, look, this is outrageous, right? And the second one, I think, was around, I don't remember when this was. This may have been like 2018 or 2019, but I believe it was because of Steven Crowder. He called like a journalist at Vox, like what do you like? That was part of it. I think what happened? Like he called like a gay journalist, like
yeah, he did. Yeah. I think that was part of it, but I don't know if that was the whole thing. But I know that one of the main things in that apocalypse was that one. God, he like deleted his account, but there was another guy that was like exposing stuff, but it turns out he like made some of it up. So it was. I don't know, that was weird. I mean, let me look it up.
Yeah, but I remember that part of the Steven Crowder thing was that there was this huge debate going on because you're probably gonna have to censor this part, but he was selling T-shirts about like this journal. He made merch out of this entire situation that he had with this journalist, and the shirts were on his own merch website. Definitely gonna have to censor that, but like, basically, like there was this whole debate of like, like, is this okay on YouTube, but it's like on a different website? You know, it's like, is giving traffic to like a website where you say like sort of like hateful stuff, is that like allowed on YouTube? And eventually YouTube bent the knee, and there was like the ad economy was pretty crippled. But those are the two main instances of like a big adpocalypse. I remember the Steven Crowder thing was actually it had a pretty big ripple effect for a while.
Yep. Yeah, I remember that.
And there may or may not have been a third one, but I don't think there was. I mean, I know there was those two major ones. Was there a third one? I don't know.
The one I was thinking of was the guy Matt's What It Is. And I found it like an article in 2019. He posted, probably have to edit this too, but he posted a video showing what he referred to as a softcore pedophilia ring, blaming YouTube's algorithm. He told his fan base to report this to companies putting their ads on the site. So he basically found a video. I think it was back when there was all those videos where pedos were like putting timestamps in videos that had kids that appeared in them. And so they wouldn't say anything in the comment, but they would like type a timestamp and then, you know.
Oh yeah.
And
yeah. I remember that shit.
That was one of the adpocalypses, but like it was weird because
was that around like the ElsaGate period?
Yeah, it was that same time. That's exactly right.
Yeah.
So he was finding those videos that had like, but they had like 6 views, and instead of just like hitting the report button, he was like adding Coca-Cola, and so he basically like caused the whole fucking thing himself when he could have just reported the videos, which obviously like that should never be on YouTube. It has no place, but like, dude, just use the tool to report it.
Yo, carry the podcast for like 2 minutes. I gotta go take a piss.
Yeah, totally. But yeah, I just think it's weird that, I don't know. And what's weird too is that guy actually like disappeared. Like he disappeared after that. He's gone. So I think his name, Matt's what it is. Yeah. And I think it actually came out that he was a reporter. So former YouTuber who was first known for his comedy skits and men's fitness videos, but nowadays he's mostly known for being the main cause of the third adpocalypse, the YouTube Wake Up hashtag, and his video titled "YouTube is facilitating the sexual exploitation of children, and it is being monetized," which he discusses a wormhole of disturbing comments on videos featuring minors. He's been criticized for his handling of the situation in his campaigns and attempts to start an ad boycott by many people in the YouTube community, such as Emblem in the Right Opinion, Keemstar Nerd City, and Boblex. On February 17th, 2019, Matt made his now infamous video talking about and entering a wormhole of child exploitation on YouTube. Matt shortly made a premiere stream where he links a Reddit post he made where he advertises the video and tells his audience to go upvote it. This is a strict violation of the solicitation of Reddit. Yeah, Reddit's rules. Matt decided to censor the entire video altogether and hide the chat replay. The reason is unknown, but this is probably due to predators still thriving on the video and clicking on it. He doesn't want to milk predators from the video. I like went down this rabbit hole of this Matt guy one time. I watched like an Emp Lemon video on the whole situation, and he did a really good job describing it. But basically, one of the conspiracy theories about this guy that caused the third adpocalypse, Matt, I think he went by Matt Watson. It came out that he, like his real identity was never like discovered, but somebody found a picture of him, and he was like working for a newspaper or like some news article. And so there was this like conspiracy theory that he was trying to destroy YouTube because he worked for like mainstream media. But
interesting.
But yeah, if you ever get a chance, the Emp Lemon video is really good. Operation Red Herring is
fascinating.
Yeah, so he basically like kind of hypothesizes that like the whole thing was just astroturfed. Like he basically he posted his video on Reddit. He had like no subscribers, and he had all these like people upvote the posts in the middle of the night so the video could take off. And so it just seemed like very non-organic.
Yeah, for sure.
Kind of thing. So yeah.
Word. Yeah, so L YouTube for the new monetization guidelines the new monetization guidelines. I don't know why I said chains.
Changes, maybe?
Changes. Yeah, and I think that's just my thoughts on that. I just wish they were more consistent, honestly, more than anything.
I do see the flip side where like I think if they just to play devil's advocate, I don't actually believe this opinion that I'm about to say, but I've heard a lot of people say that if they just came out and said what was wrong with the video, then everybody would go, oh, well, I said that in my video and I got demonetized. So like if they did give you a timestamp, if they said, okay, at 8:31, you said shit, then everybody who got demonetized for the word shit would be like, oh, I knew it. And everybody who said shit but had ads would be like, oh, well, I didn't get demonetized. You know, like people would immediately be like, oh, well, that's not fair. So
yeah. I'm not asking for YouTube to just be like, oh yeah, here's a personal guy at YouTube to look at every one of your videos. I think that's unrealistic, but just in general, I feel like they're very I don't know, just inconsistent with what they seem to want to implant. And I get it, like we are going into a recession if we're not in one already. So ad spending on YouTube is going to be down this year. So they definitely have to like, you know, make it so that everyone's on their best behavior, but it just kind of sucks. So
yeah, it definitely does.
All right, let's bang out like 2 more topics.
Yeah.
And call it.
Yeah, totally. So the next most recent one that happened this week was Andrew Callahan, Channel 5. You know that guy?
Oh yeah, dude, it's so bad. I literally tweeted like randomly because I just saw one of his videos. When did I tweet it? It was like right before this all went bad. I don't have the date, but I literally just tweeted like Andrew Callahan is so good. Just like a vague like, oh, I like this guy's content. Like because I like just saw it. Yeah. January 2nd, Andrew Callahan is so good. 25 likes. Just a whatever. Like I like this guy, right? And like a week later, turns out dude is just, kind of a horny demon,
Yeah. So that was the interesting thing. So if you look at so the Channel 5, like his subreddit has totally imploded. Like it's completely like,
yeah, well should we go over this? Like what we're talking about?
Yeah. So basically like this week a girl on TikTok made a TikTok and she basically said that Andrew, and so let me back up even further. If you don't know who Andrew is,
Andrew Callahan?
Yeah, Andrew Callahan. So if you've ever watched Channel 5,
yeah, you get it. We're doing this podcast stuff.
Hell yeah.
Given context,
yeah, calling all context warriors. Context
guys,
squad.
we're gonna get so good at this.
So he runs a really successful grassroots like documentary channel. He's like the people's hero of YouTube in a lot of ways too, because he started his own thing, Channel 5 News. And if you've ever watched a video on YouTube and you've seen like a tall, lanky, like awkward guy with like real poofy white guy hair, that's Andrew. And so he's like kind of known for just being super upfront and like doing really good interviews. And his videos are always like super chill. So I think that's part of like why people were so surprised by this. But anyway, a little for just some tiny bit of history, he sold his channel to this like predatory network. They totally took advantage of him. So like the whole internet was rooting for him, basically. Like he lost control of his channel to this like MCN that he signed over to. So they were making all this money off him and doing basically nothing to help him. So he went through this whole thing. He had to start a new channel. He had to start over. He started over. This is like maybe a couple years ago, maybe like 2 years ago. And now he's like started over. He has a new channel. He's very successful again. He goes to all these different places. So like during the riots, he was like at the riots. Like he goes to Woodstock. He goes to like any place you can think of where there's like crazy shit going on. He's there. And he just goes, he's not afraid of anybody, man. Like he walks up to people with like a gun and he's like, hey, what you doing? And so, and then this week, all these allegations
I just found out about him too.
Yeah. He's, and his content's really good.
Yeah, it's pretty great.
Yeah. And so it's this one's been interesting because basically this girl came out on TikTok this week and said, like Andrew came over to my house. Like I didn't want to sleep with him. But like he kept asking me over and over and over. And finally I like got tired of hearing him ask me and I said yes or whatever. So, and like there's always a question of what happened. But then more and more people started to like tell stories. And I think there's like 5 now. But then I haven't gotten a chance to watch it yet, but I know that supposedly he went on H3's podcast, like a members only. So like H3 has a podcast that you can only watch if you pay, like if you're a YouTube member. And apparently on that podcast,
cringe.
I know, who would ever do that?
Boy, we're not making anyone pay. What are you talking about?
Not yet. I'm just kidding.
Oh no.
I'm just kidding. No, I'm just kidding. This is a podcast for the people. Fuck that.
Facts.
So he went on H3's paid podcast and was like, yeah, it's all true. I'm checking myself into rehab. So that all happened within the span of like 3 days, which is is crazy.
So he's like self-reported. He's like, oh, this is facts. Damn,
100%.
bro.
Yeah. I'm going to listen to the whole podcast. I have a link to like a bootleg version that somebody sent me.
Jeez. How old is he? Oh, he's 25.
Okay. But yeah,
he looks a lot younger.
He really does. And I think
I thought he was like 19.
We should probably get this out of the way in the first episode of the podcast. I don't know if you want to dox yourself, but I don't care if I tell people how old I am. How old do you think I am? Like if you look at my profile picture.
Oh no, my age is public. I'm 19.
Okay.
I'm guessing you're like what, like 23?
Oh God. No, look at
28.
You're almost there.
Like 30 maybe.
Yeah, I'm 31.
Okay, I don't care.
You're probably like, oh God, you're so old.
No. I talk to people who are like older than you, bro.
It's funny.
It's really not weird.
It's funny because that's
If
what
anything, it's good because you can like check me on shit too. Because like no one wants to hear like just some 19-year-old kid that just run his mouth all the time. I mean, I guess like 320K people do, but like I'm just like mostly just like talking my shit on my YouTube and stuff. And it's like I don't feel like yeah, I speak with confidence, but like I feel like I don't really like. I don't know, man. Like I don't try to be like as like, oh, I am correct always. It's like, nah, bro. Like people can like check me if they want. Like I'm allowed to be checked. Like I made a video where I was super reckless, and I don't want to get too off track, but like I made a video where I was speaking pretty reckless on another creator named Noah Samson, and he made actually a very respectful, I would say, like response video to me, and I kind of got BTFO'd, and I kind of got put in check a little bit, and I kind of like, I don't want to say I needed it, but it was useful. And I think he did a very good video. And I mean, a lot of people hate me now because of it, which is like, I mean, you know, that's YouTube, right? But I actually spoke to him behind the scenes, and I don't think he's a bad guy. Obviously, I disagree with him a lot on like issues and stuff, but like, who cares, right? I think he's like, you're not a bad guy. But
yeah, I think it's
So I have no issue talking to people of like all ages. I think it's like useful. I think it's actually good because it's like I don't want to just make another podcast with like 19-year-old retards where we just talk about like whatever. And you're actually like, you do a good job like guiding the conversation too. So yeah.
No, thanks. I appreciate it. I think we should get someone. I think, you know, if and when we start doing guests, I think that'll add like a whole other dynamic that could be really cool.
When, not if?
Yeah.
Guests in here.
No, I know. But yeah, no, I agree. I think that's cool too. And I think there's a lot of, and I know there's a lot of stuff that I don't know. So I think it'll be fun to like kind of explore, you know, like just different parts of the internet, and like, you know, a lot of stuff that I don't know. So I think it'll be fun to, you know, kind of pick each other's brains
and vice versa. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So, but yeah, good. looking at Andrew's channel, like some of his most popular stuff is like, he went to O Block. That's a super popular video. So like in Chicago.
Oh yeah.
He went to you know, O Block, which is like all these like
very unsafe.
Yes, very unsafe. And then he the Crip Mac, that dude that's a Crip, he what's that saying he always said? Man, that guy was funny. He's like, I don't know, but he hangs out with all these people that you would never expect him to hang out with. So he was kind of like a very relatable YouTuber. Like, oh yeah, that's cool. Like, you know, he's just able to relate to so many people in their environment.
He just exactly. He just came across as like an everyman's man, like kind of just average Joe, just kind of like exploring the craziness of the world. And just not like he just seemed like an easy guy to relate to. He just didn't seem like he was like all too like opinionated or anything like that. He just kind of like looked at all these different types of people and let them speak and just kind of like gave his thoughts. And it just seemed pretty like just chill, and it was just good content all around. Like I don't think he seemed like a hard to dislike type of person.
Yep.
Yeah.
So yeah, apparently according to
but I guess
his subreddit, yeah, he said per Ethan Klein on the H3 Members Podcast, Andrew confirmed that he knows the girls had the encounters and checked himself in to a psych ward. He said he's going to be releasing a statement. It did not come out. This is 2 days ago. He said he would release a statement. And it could also be because it was the same day that the Rolling Stone article came out. So like this story got so big that Rolling Stone picked it up. And so it could be that.
Well, you know why, right?
Why?
Because of he has a new show out or a movie on HBO. So he actually, if you don't know about this, the reason why why these allegations came out, I believe at the time they did, or this TikToker made that video, was because she, I think, expressed that she felt specifically very like helpless seeing this person who did all these bad things to her getting like this huge break, like this huge massive yeah, exactly. He got his own movie, This Place Rules. It was basically a documentary where he looks at all like the J6ers and is like, what are you guys up to? And it apparently it's like actually pretty good. It's like authentic, and it's like, you know, it's just what he does, but a longer version. And he got like an HBO placement, right? Which is like really good. Like this huge company, they're buying your media. He probably made like a shitload of money off that, which like and he's going to get way more eyes on him too. Cause now that's like mainstream, right? Now you have like your cable viewers and like the people who don't watch YouTube. You have an entire new demographic being exposed to like your content. And it's going to like put him on the map, like career wise. And what set her off, this victim, was like I didn't want to see him. Like, it made me feel helpless seeing this person now getting like the best deal of their life after doing these bad things to me, which it's a mixed bag for me, because it's like, on one hand, like I kind of understand where you're coming from, seeing like this person like now at the best point of their life, but at the same time, I kind of feel like it shouldn't have to come to that. But I'm not here to like, police like when you have to like come forward with your story or whatever. I guess she did the right thing eventually. I just think it leaves people to kind of like suspect what your intentions are. Like, did you only do this because you can get clout off the wave of like his new success? Or is it because like you genuinely now felt like you could come forward? And I can't comment on that because I genuinely don't know like what her motives were. Like, I don't know this girl. I don't know any of these girls. It could genuinely just be because it's like, damn, like I'm so sick of this guy winning after him being like this horrible person behind the scenes. And that could be it. But I think there is definitely like, I see people getting absolutely shit on for being like a little bit skeptical, right? By like these believe all women types. And it's like, well, okay, come on now. Like we literally can't just believe all women, especially in like these specific circumstances where it's like, okay, this person just got like the biggest deal of their entire career. Yeah, I'm just saying that it's like, you have to be a little bit skeptical. Like, you just have to be. That like the moment someone gets like the most eyes on them that they have in like potentially years, that's like when you want to like, also it's like, I don't know. And I'm not saying anything. Like, I think, Andrew Callahan, I mean, he admits it, right? Like, that's a shitty thing to do. Like, he got caught. It's bad for him. Like, I don't support this guy anymore. But like, it is a bad thing for, I think generally, when victims only come forward when the person who did something bad to them is getting like the most attention. And I understand like the reasoning. It may not be like clout wise, of course, but like to a certain extent, you have to question the motives. Even if the motives are pure, you can't just like blindly just, assume the best. Because there were cases like when this happened, like I believe this happened a couple of years ago with FaZe Banks. He got accused of like hitting a girl or something. And like Jake Paul totally made it up. Jake Paul accused FaZe Banks of like hitting a girl at like a club or something. And it turned out like it was like totally fake. And like Jake Paul just did it because FaZe Banks like was popping off. And it's like, while I think you can like totally like, you have to like, you have to have an open mind. Like the people who just completely reject any sort of like, telling from a victim. I think these people are totally like irresponsible and like, they're heartless. And they're not good people, but just like to completely shut out any skepticism is just irresponsible, I feel like. And like if the people who are shutting out all the skepticism now did so back in a situation like with the FaZe Banks thing, like that would be horrible. Like this guy would have been like completely boycotted for no reason until like he eventually was able to clear his name, which isn't fair. But in this case, I guess it's fine because he is guilty. But I think in general, you should try to, I think all sides.
Yeah, I think like healthy skepticism is good. Like it's definitely really healthy. And I think one of the girls in this case said something that made me, and I like in general feel the same way. One of the girls did say something interesting. This time she said that so like the first girl on TikTok this week that came out with this, she's already like disabled her account. Like she already has like I guess people were commenting and they were like, you're lying, and so she got like really pressed and like disabled her TikTok. And but one of the things she said before she disabled was like, she's like, the reason I'm saying something now is like, well, first of all, she said, I tried 2 years ago and like nobody listened to me. So I'm trying again now because. Oh,
okay. I guess that's true.
And she said she's trying again now because basically in her mind, okay, so like if I think about it from her perspective, if this guy is actually like a predator, in her mind, she said, well, now he's going to get access to way more women. Like he's going to be able to talk to way more women.
Oh, true.
If he's at a bar and they're like, oh, I saw you on HBO. Like that's way different than being like, oh, I saw you on YouTube. And that kind of like changed my mind a little bit, but I still, I'm with you.
I didn't think about it like that. That's true.
I'm with you on the healthy skepticism thing though. I'm
always skeptical. You still definitely have to have that.
Yeah. But I also like that kind of opened my mind. I was like, damn, I never thought about it like that, because if I was in that position, I would probably feel the same way. I'd be like, oh, he's gonna
he's gonna like do it again.
It's open season now.
Yeah. that is actually a very good point. And like, just to make it like crystal clear, like I'm totally like Andrew Callahan, like that, like that's disgusting. Like what he did, just gonna say it straight up, because I don't want anyone to think that I'm like saying like in this specific scenario to be skeptical. Because like it is like, I mean, it's an open and shut case. Like he, I think, admitted it, right? Like in this case, like this dude, like, yeah, totally like gross what he did. I'm saying just in general though, before he like admitted to it, there were people, instantly saying like, yes, no, just shut up and believe the victims. And that is to me.
Yeah, that is the first. Like, I always groan when I'm on Twitter, and like the moment an accusation comes out, I see all these tweets, and people are like, "Oh, I guess I'm not their fan." I'm like, "Can you wait like an hour?" And, I get what you're saying. It's frustrating.
That happened with the Carson thing too. Like, dude, that was like the worst overreaction out of like every YouTuber thing.
Agreed.
I saw people burning their Carson like plushies and shit. It's like, dude, what is wrong with you? Like, you literally did not let you don't like some random Twitter came out with a thread where Carson like was talking to like a 17-year-old. Like in retrospect, that's actually nuts that he like lost so much.
They were like 2 years apart, barely.
There's actually nothing at all wrong with that. Nothing. Like nothing wrong with a 19-year-old talking to a 17-year-old at all. Like, and people made this like argument of like, well, yeah, there's like a power imbalance, but it's like what? Like, do you think he's like leveraging like his YouTube clout to like get into this? Like didn't they? It's just so like it's just like a vague like kind of like moral high ground thing where it's like power imbalance. It's like, well, what? Like,
I find the power imbalance thing to be super like a weird argument too. I think in like very niche cases it makes sense to argue that, but like in general, I don't understand that at all. I think, did you see on Twitter this week, there was some YouTuber.
It's like they're the same age, dude.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And it's like, what kind of power imbalance was he going to be like, oh, if you come date me, I'll let you be in one of my videos. Like,
yeah, exactly. That like never happened. Like, like he never like gave her clout or anything. Like the only example, I think the power imbalance thing is just kind of like, if someone's like a fan of you, right? Since like they're 12 and you're like 15 making videos, right? And you have like a 12-year-old fan. And they like love your stuff, right? And then it's like 5 years later, you're 20, they're 17, right? And then you eventually hit them up. Then I think it's a little weird because it's like they've had like that fake parasocial love for you, like for like these years. But like, bro, like it's like a 17, and they met on Discord. Like that's the biggest crime I think there. Like they met on Discord, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying?
I'm sending you this tweet. So I don't know if you're familiar with the YouTuber Repzilla, but he used to be like fairly big in commentary, but his channel, like I don't think he posts as much anymore. But he made this tweet this week that's pretty funny. Keemstar like quote tweeted it, and he said, "Creators should not attempt to date their fans. It's clearly a moral and ethical issue. It will always be a dangerous line. It's a conflict of interest that should be addressed in YouTube policy. Things need to be more transparent and accountable." And everybody just clowned on this guy. I replied, I was like, "I'm going to email my partner manager for permission to take a chick to Chili's." Like, yeah, right, bro.
That's actually insane. That is an insane take.
Bro, can you imagine asking YouTube for permission to take somebody on a date?
No, but yeah, okay, but also like we all know like the what's the phrasing here? Like we all know what he's really trying to say. Like I'm gonna like
read between the lines. Yeah.
Read between the lines. I'm gonna read what he meant to say. Male creators who are older than their female fans should not attempt to date them. Right? Like that, he's not talking about like,
that makes a lot more sense.
Nobody would care if Pokemon's fan went on a date with her. Everyone would celebrate. They'd be like, finally, the prophecy is true. Like, no one would ever care if like some random 20-year-old like tier 3 sub on like Pokemon's channel like gets to like bag Pokemon. That would be hype for the guy. Literally everyone, bro, the Sims would have like a renaissance. They'd throw a party. They'd make it a holiday on Reddit. Okay? That's literally what would happen.
They call it tier 3 day.
Literally, and it's only the thing with males. It's only if like, oh, if you're an influential male creator, you can't date younger female fans. Well, it's like if like literally any other female creator were to date like a younger male fan, nobody would care. Like Sniper Wolf dates like a younger guy, that's a W for the guy.
Sniper Wolf married a fan.
Yeah, like what? Like no one cares. Bro.
So her husband, like the Sniper Wolf lore goes really deep. That's like a good example that you pulled up. But this guy was like actually like a simp. Like he would like comment on all her videos and stuff and like send her messages. And like one time she replied and like they ended up getting married like that. And nobody had a problem with it. Like nobody was weird about it.
Well, and there shouldn't be a problem with it. If anything, like that's like a once in a lifetime, like nuclear fission level chance of happening type shit. Like with the YouTube comments are like where the like that's like a fairy tale for like the internet, right?
100%, yeah.
And it's just weird, man. Like I don't know. Like it is true that like it's a tough thing because at the end of the day, like if a guy creator is gonna date like a female fan, like I don't think there's anything like wrong with that. But I think that there should be like I don't know. I think you have to be careful in the sense of like you don't want to date someone who's only dating the image of you. Right?
Yeah, for sure. That would be a super weird relationship. Like if they only knew you because they were your
and it's
fan.
not an ethical thing either. It's really not an ethical thing. It's like a personal relationship thing. It's like you just don't want that, right?
Yeah, I agree. Yeah,
it's
that'd be super shallow relationship. Like it would just be weird.
Exactly. It would be weird, right? So I that's just my take on that. But I think like in general, like I don't really think there's like, especially because a lot of these creators are like in like their 20s, right? Bro, if you're a grown adult woman and then like you watch like a Twitch streamer and then you like they meet you and then you like he takes you on a date, like and then you go cry about it as like power imbalance, like shut your goddamn mouth. Like, bro, you're literally a grown adult. Like that's like no, you know, we're not hearing you out.
Yeah, I agree. I think, you know, if it's weird. And he compares, he says Walmart and most other establishments have policies against managers dating employees. It's like, dude, no, we're not talking about a boss employee relationship. Like this is totally different. I just thought it was funny. It was really funny. Yeah, and if you look at the replies to that, like everyone was dunking on him. It was really funny.
Yeah, that's so dumb. And like YouTube is not even like YouTube is it's like it's not, you're not a boss. Like it doesn't make any sense. Like it's so stupid. All right, do you have any more stories? Let's bang out one more and call it, or let's see what I
Yeah, so I mean, I had a couple more actually, but we can do like the last one. We can talk about let's see. So I know that there was one big one that I sent you something on, like XQC, like his ex-girlfriend Sammy filed for divorce this week. So for anybody that doesn't know, XQC is like he's one of the biggest, if not the biggest streamer on Twitch. And his ex-girlfriend filed for divorce. But the reason it's like big news is because, well, one, they've been broken up for a while already. And two, he claims they were never married. So now there's this whole like debate about what were they like secretly married. And then he's also like super rich. He's like a multi-millionaire. He's probably worth like, I don't know. What do you think? Like $100 million?
Yeah, it's crazy. He made like when the Twitch thing got leaked, he was making, I think like 9 million like a year or something,
and that's just from Twitch. That doesn't include sponsored streams,
everything else,
which a game sponsor could pay him like $1 million to play the game just for a day.
Oh yeah, of course. So point is, dude, he's loaded loaded to like extent, right? Like people want a piece of the pie. So
yeah, there was this whole thing of everyone was saying like, oh, Adept's gonna get half his money, she's gonna get half his money, and then I went and found like the court records where she actually did apply for divorce. Like it's actually a real thing. And so, but there's no marriage record. Like I searched all the records. There's no marriage record for the county that they lived in. He's since moved. He doesn't even live in Texas anymore, but, they both live together in Texas. There's no marriage records unless I just missed it. I don't know. I think so. Like the speculation is that she's like trying to claim like common law marriage, which is like where you can say you're legally married, but you never actually like went to the courthouse and got married. Which is like you have to live together for a certain amount of time. There's all these like regulations, right? So you have to like meet all these criteria. And I don't think that they met them because you basically, one of the things in there is like you have to tell people that you're married. So like you have to present as married. And I don't think he ever told anybody they were married. So I don't see it working out for her. I'm trying to think of like a pro Sammy argument. Like I can't think of why she would want to do that other than I think he bought her a car and like he doesn't even have a driver's license. And I think he bought her.
What?
Yeah, no, he can't drive. He doesn't know how. And I think he bought her a car and then just like didn't give it back to her. Like it just sits in his driveway. And so I think part of it was like she wanted her car back that he had bought her. So I don't know.
These streamers, like, they argue with their wives like babies.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
They view it as like a Twitter like battle. It's like so immature. Like I've had relationships while I've ran the channel and stuff, and nobody knows that, right? Like I'm saying it now because like it's true, but like nobody would know that at all based on like what I say. I never mention it. I think I mentioned one time in a video that I was single because I was single at the time. But like unless I'm like literally cuffed with this person for like over like a year or two, right? Or maybe like I don't know. I'm too young to know, but like, bro, like you gotta be so careful with that stuff, man. Because like the moment people are, and I'll give Pokemon credit on this because I think she was pretty spot on this take. You literally cannot be talking about like relationships and shit publicly.
Yeah.
It's just bad. Like I mean, obviously for her, like her reasoning was kind of weird. It's like, well, people know I have a boyfriend, they won't donate as much, which is like okay, but like in general, like you just don't want that level of like people knowing your relationships. Like that's just odd to me, dude.
Yeah, it's
like
too much information.
Like if someone could already recognize me in public, like okay, you can recognize me in public, but like if I'm with a girl in public, like just some random guy comes up to me and is like wow, like you two, like the energy between you two has been super real lately. I'm just like, dude, what?
Yeah, that would be so weird.
Yeah, it's just like awkward. It's like, oh, you two are so cute together. It's like, dog, what? Like I don't, it's just, I don't know, man. Like that just makes me uncomfortable.
I do find it ironic that Twitch streamers are always the first ones to like talk out about. They're like, oh, you guys shouldn't be parasocial. You don't really know me. But then they do everything they can to like foster that parasocial, like ties. Like they do all this parasocial stuff. Like, they do all these IRL streams where they're like, this is my girlfriend. This is my family. Like, this is my blah, blah, blah. Like, I love you guys.
Bro, streaming, dude, I'm sorry, but streaming is inherently parasocial. 100%.
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely.
It's just, YouTube is not, okay? Like streaming, the concept of like live, like talking with someone, like it literally adds like a life to it. And it's like when there shouldn't be like a live connection, like, oh, I can message this person live. It is a parasocial thing. And I'm not shitting on streaming, right? Because I've streamed before. But like the nature of streaming is somewhat parasocial, or at least more than just a YouTube video. Like,
yeah, that's true.
I mean, it's just facts. And I mean, you can definitely stream healthily. Like, there's ways to do it. But just like, let's not lie about the fact that it's like, bro, you're having random people message you and send you money live, and you don't think they're gonna think that there's like a little bit more to it. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, no, I agree. Yeah. But yeah, we'll see what happens.
And like all these people have like subreddits and stuff too that they check live. It's
God.
way more, dude. Like,
yeah,
I don't know. I make my videos. I read my comments. I post on like Instagram and Twitter like every now and then, and that's it, bro. Like, I don't know.
There's some streamers that I know for a fact like go on their own subreddit, like they search their own name on Twitter. It's like, dude, just like stop. Like, just you gotta like back up a little. Like, it's too much.
Yeah, it is a little OD. Like. And I feel like that would just kind of like mess up like your headspace.
Yes,
like, a little bit.
It's too much. Like you have to like consume content that doesn't have anything to do with you. Like, especially if you're, I think, a streamer, like you need to just like get away from Twitch, like maybe go watch some YouTube, like watch a movie, like take in some inspiration that isn't just like reading your own subreddit drama. Like that's so like, I think it'd just make your content worse, right? Because you're not getting like inspiration from anywhere external. It's just incestuous.
Yeah, it's pretty not great if I'm being honest. Like, I don't know. It's just not a it's I don't know. It's not great. Like I wouldn't like to be like that focused on like all the time.
It seems hard. I don't think I could be a streamer. I don't think I could be on for like 10, 12 hours a day. Like I think I would actually go insane.
Yeah, for sure. But I think that might be it for this episode. No?
Yeah, I think we're good. Thanks. Let's. Where can people find you? Shout out your. I don't know. You want to do that? How do you want to end our podcast?
Yeah, we'll figure it out as we go. But my name's Acheeto. Just Cheeto, like the snack food, but with the letter A in front of it, no space. You can find me at youtube.com/Acheeto, twitter.com/Acheeto with like 2 O's after the first O. And Instagram, Acheeto, same thing. Yeah, man. I just make like gameplay commentary stuff, talk about news, drama, look at cringy clips, reacts, roasts, a little bit of everything. That's me.
Yeah, I'm Jabroney. Like, go on YouTube, just search Jabroney, and I make like different videos on like internet culture and different topics, like random topics sometimes. But I think they're fun. My thing is like I kind of like to do like a lot of research, like get the background, and I'm really into editing. So I try to make stuff that's super entertaining, and I'm super addicted to Twitter. So if you ever need a good follow, it's at Jabroney TV. And yeah, so that's us. That's the podcast.
If you want your in-depth video essay content, go sub this guy. All these other hacks. I'm not gonna name names, but you know who I'm talking about.
Thanks.
This guy does it better.
Thanks.
And yeah, we'll be back with another episode of Clips next week. And yeah, prepare yourself. And yeah, that's it. No.
Yep. See you next time. Thanks.